My name is Iman. My title at the college is NACTEP Project Director, and I am the DPARP co-director with Jason. And like I said, so in my work at the tribal college, we have like certificate programs, and then we have like 2-year programs, and then we started offering 4-year programs recently. And I didn't really know about apprenticeships until I met Jason a couple of years back. And so I thought that it was really important that we start to get more awareness of what an apprenticeship is because Jason likes to call it the other 4-year degree. And I feel like the nice thing with apprenticeship programs is like with a college degree, you register for classes, you take the coursework, and then towards the end, you start looking for employment. But on the other hand, with an apprenticeship program, what you do is you start working right away, and then you kind of get the additional training throughout your duration of your apprenticeship program. And so the programs are kind of around like a 4-year time commitment. And so like a big part of this course is like we want to make sure that like you guys have the same goals that we have. And if you're not looking for apprenticeship placement, that's okay. You can just let us know. And feel free to share it with like anyone that you know who might be interested in like the construction field. Just because the more awareness of the programs that we can get, the better. And then the nice thing about the apprenticeship programs is that once you kind of complete them, you can pretty much use them in any state and even internationally. And so Jason has a lot more insight into that. And so like one of the things that maybe he can touch on a little bit is like how the ones that we're recruiting for right now are unionized. So like with unionized labor, it's kind of like there's the employees have a voice, about their pay, about their benefits and things like that. And so I think that it's a really good option. Whereas like if you're in, say, maybe a non-union kind of construction industry, you might not have some of the same perks. Like one of the biggest perks that stuck out for me was that, in construction, when you finish a job, the job is done, right? So like you can contact the business manager who has like a whole roster of different contractors and they kind of have a knowing of like, we're looking for this, this, and this, so like you even have your own kind of like employment placement specialist really. Um, and so like again with my work at the college, I do a lot of like student retention work and I always like to consider everyone as an individual, right? And so like if you think about just we all have had these various experiences, right? So whatever your experience has been with education, whatever challenges that you've gone through in life, like we just want to meet you where you're at and try to help you navigate and get you into kind of like a healthy position, and so like we really like to talk about like your finances, which is part of this course too. So you guys are welcome to use us as a resource. If you have questions about like anything life in general, you're welcome to ask. Like think of us as mentors to coaches, because ultimately our goal is to promote awareness. We want you guys to get into an apprenticeship program, but if it's not for you, that's cool. We'd rather have you be ready to commit, and also like just be a resource for you guys. So I'll let Jason do his intro.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. And appreciate that. And welcome everybody again. Jason Eller, president of the Building Trades Unions, and Iman summed it up really well. For us in the unions, we advocate for good paying jobs, good middle class jobs, jobs that pay good pay, and it also has benefits on top of it: retirement, pension, medical insurance that covers not just you but also your family members, your significant others, your children, your dependents. That's what we advocate for. An apprenticeship program, if you've never heard about an apprenticeship program or you've never don't know exactly what they are, it's like Iman talked about, it's a 4-year degree that we like to highlight. So each one of these trades, going onto our website as we go through this orientation, there's a numerous careers available in the building trades unions. If you enjoy welding, there's 4 trades that will use welding almost all the time in the performance of their craft: boilermakers, iron workers, pipe fitters, and millwrights. If you are good with hand-eye coordination, you running equipment, heavy equipment operators. Maybe it's something you want to work off of heights. Iron workers will build skyscrapers and build buildings like that. So the key piece on this, there's a lot of opportunities available in the building trade unions. The benefit of an apprenticeship program, they are fully funded. You are not going to take out college loans to go to these programs. You get paid the entire time while you're going through an apprenticeship program. Say you want to become an electrician or an insulator. You go into that apprenticeship program, you get accepted. What they'll put you on is a stepped pay scale over a 4 year time frame. So you may start at $20 an hour. The first raise you get is 24. Then you go to 28, then 32, and then 36 and 40, all the way up to that over that 4 year, 5 year time frame. You're not having to take out any college loans. All the education is done for you. You're making that investment in yourself. The union is making that investment in you. The contractors are making that investment as you as well. So it's a real synergetic. There we go. Um, Opportunity for everybody. I didn't have to take out a college loan for my apprenticeship program. Went through it in the Bricklayers Union. Took me about 4 years to go through the program. This was over 20 years ago. I started at $15 an hour. When I finished the program, I was making $30 an hour. On top of that, I'd had benefits, I had retirement, health insurance, all those kinds of things. Didn't have to take out any of these loans. The purpose of this program is to really give you a foundational knowledge about the construction industry, help you understand how an apprenticeship program is going to work, give you some math skills to, like reading a tape measure, understanding math in a hands-on approach. So some of you may say, hey, I'm not the greatest at math. Don't worry, I wasn't either. But the beauty about an apprenticeship program is you learn by doing. You understand it. You're not just going to sit in a classroom, understand, looking at math, Pythagorean theorem, and all these other types of geometry aspects. You'll be doing them in your apprenticeship program. This program seeks to get you guys ready in those kinds of performance base and understanding what the expectations are, what those commitments are, and then as you get your knowledge about there, hey, I want to try this trade. We're going to do interviews, maybe opportunities to meet all the different aspects of each trade and say, hey, you know what? I really like this trade. I want to get some more information about it. You know what? Maybe I don't want to be a plumber. You're working with toilets, you're working with wastewater. Maybe that's not the career pathway for you. Maybe you do want to pursue a plumbing career. That's what that's going to be about. So, yeah, this orientation here is to just kind of get you guys understanding how the program is going to work. The nuts and the bolts for this orientation. Did we want to do some introductions, or do we want to kind of wait for that and maybe Iman and I can go through the nuts and the bolts of the program, and then we can kind of have more of those conversation pieces afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
That way we can kind of like cut them out so we don't have to run that back for you guys. So
Okay. So why don't we go to the Google Classroom? All right, so we use Google Classroom as kind of your main landing page here for everything. If you go to the people on there, I should have invited everybody in this classroom. If you don't see your name up there, can you let us know either in the chat or yeah, why don't you let us know in the chat if your email is not up there as of yet? And for some of you, I did invite you with the emails that you submitted in the demographics form that you filled out. If you're not seeing that or that's incorrect, please let us know. And if you haven't gotten these emails, go and check your junk or your spam folder, because sometimes that can be kicked over to there if your email server just doesn't recognize it. And also, Iman is going to copy the link in the chat and put it in there so you guys can click into it if need be from your computer.
if you hit that link that I sent in the chat, it'll take you to the join page.
All right, now we can go to classwork while everybody is going through that. And if at any point we might be going too fast or you have a question, please let us know. So as you click on the classwork, you can see this is all related to the program. So we have an introductory assessment. Really what we're looking at this will be your first assignment. As you click on this, it's another Google form that we have, but we want to just gauge some interest or what your guys' experience are in the construction industry. And what we're trying to do here is to have a personalized case plan for each one of our students so we can properly prepare you for what you might be wanting to look for in the construction industry. So it has a list of all the trades that you might want to try and explore. So that way we can start getting those conversations lined up with each one of the representatives. And you can see there's a pretty exhaustive list of opportunities in the trades. If you scroll down, your name, last name, where you at with your education background. And it has all that kind of information. So that's your first assignment, to just fill that out and send it off to us. And where you at on your math and reading? How do you feel on that? You okay with that? Maybe might need a little assistance. That way we can give you the proper accommodations. So that'll be your first assignment for everybody, is to fill out the intake assessment.
So you say go where now?
So if you go back to the Google Classroom,
Right.
yep, and it'll be that first under classwork.
Oh,
I will
okay.
definitely do that.
Yep.
Introductory assessment, right?
Yes. Yep. You can fill that out and send that off and submit that.
So after this class or right now?
After this class, after this orientation, that'll be your guys'
Okay.
first assignment. So,
Okay.
yep. After that is the Zoom link. This is when we meet weekly with all of you to see how your progress is going. And those check-ins are really to just, hey, what questions might you have? What issues might you have with the website? Are you having any problems? What we want to do is be accommodating to everybody's schedules too. If we'll be talking to all of you, but would a morning meeting work? Would an afternoon meeting work? Would a Saturday quick morning check-in work? That's what the whole point of that Zoom link is. The Zoom link, if you haven't downloaded Zoom, there's a resource here on this website that you can download that Zoom link. And I mean, all of you right now, you have the Zoom link. So that answers that. After there is the course syllabus. And this is a link to a Google document. And this has all the information pertaining to the course. So here's our names, our phone numbers, our emails that you guys can get a hold of us at any time. Any questions on this? Needed materials from computer, laptop, Gmail account, Zoom software, all of those things. We have the links for all the programs that we have, the DPARP website that you had signed into, and then just additional resources and requirements. As you scroll down, these are the units that we're going to be covering in the DPARP program. So we're going to be talking about construction industry awareness, tools and materials, how to understand the safe operation of tools, what tools look like, a saw. I mean, it's going to be very basic. So if you have any background in construction, it'll be kind of a repeat, but it's also just good information to have. Construction health and safety, safe practices. You'll get more safety training in your apprenticeship program, but we want you to understand the basics, how to do hazard awareness, hazard identification, those kinds of things. Basic blueprint reading. We'll do a 4-hour course in blueprint reading, understanding blueprints. You'll get more education in your apprenticeship program, but we want to have you some tools going in. Basic construction math, history of apprenticeship programs, diversity in the construction industry, green construction, and financial literacy. The key piece on financial literacy is the construction industry can be very seasonal. We can work a pile of hours in the spring, summer, and fall months, and sometimes we can be laid off in the winter. So understanding if you are making $2,000 checks during the summer, that sometimes that's not always going to be through the winter. So how do you budget accordingly? Teaching strategies will be doing, like I said, this course will be done all online at your own pace. you can do that, and we'll be walking through that website, how you access all the education and going through all of that. We'll do this all online. You don't need to, you just need to attend the Zoom sessions, but you don't have to be in person for these classes. If you are in the Newtown area and you want to go into the college, Iman is your point of contact for that. Here are just some class times. Like I said, at the end of this meeting here, we're going to just determine what times would work for everybody, the best times to meet up. And then we're going to be starting this after this orientation. Monday will be your first day of class. We will get your access users and passwords into the website that will run the program. We'll get you those out here later this today or Monday.
How long, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Trey.
How long will the classes be?
So the total class is a great question. So 120 hours is the total class. What we advise is plan for about 10 hours a week to go through the program. And what Iman is showing you, this is weekly classroom schedule. Now, this isn't a hard, like, hey, make sure you get all this done. But what we've broken this up is if you do these assignments on a weekly basis, you'll maintain progress, excuse me, to finish the program in 12 weeks. That's what we look at. We've had some students complete this program in 10 weeks, sometimes in 8 weeks. We've also had some students that just, hey, they had a full-time job. They're trying to accommodate life. It took 14 weeks or 16 weeks. The beauty of this program is that at your pace, what you can put into it, but also know that there is no deadline to get it completed because we have opportunities in apprenticeship programs year-round now. Like for the electricians union, they're taking on our apprentices every month because the demand for an electrician is so profound.
That's what I'm trying to get into.
Yep, the electricians. The electricians, plumbers, all of those. So as you look through this is just a guideline from week 4, 5, 6, and 7, understanding each one of these assignments. How is everybody doing? And am I covering all the information a little too fast? Is this all right speed? Any questions up to this point?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Well, then how about we go back to the Google Classroom. And this is my case plan. And maybe you want to talk through this, Iman.
So, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this is kind of like something new that we're starting with this cohort. And so the idea here is that like within this, each of you will have this as a template. And so you kind of have your own individual one that you share with the instructors. And so it's kind of like a way for you to check in how much you've completed. And then also, got a unit. And then also, what is the best time for you to check in? And then, Jason mentioned the requirement for the weekly check-in. It doesn't have to be by Zoom unless there's something that you need help on your computer to like navigate. So it could be as simple as a text message or a phone call. But we just want to make sure that you're checking in. We want to know how you're doing with everything. And then the other thing is that Jason and I meet every Monday at 9. And so typically what we do is we just kind of talk about what progress everyone is making, and then we kind of develop a plan for the week, So just keep in mind that we want to work with your schedule. Like we don't want to make it too demanding, the check-in part, because we understand that you guys got stuff going on. You might already have jobs and things like that. And, the big thing about this is that it's kind of like career preparation, like there's a difference between a job and a career, and so like we're very much wanting to get you guys into career tracks that are like long-term where you work towards retirement and things like that. That's our goal, is that to help you with that, this my trade of choice section, and you guys maybe don't need to put it in here, but so in that intake form, there is a spot where it kind of asks you to mark like your highest interest areas. But so what I'm thinking is to document them here, because then when it comes time, we can kind of like figure out who's got availability, and if there's like a trade that you absolutely are not interested in at all, like don't put it on there. And then like just kind of like just in my profession, one thing that I've come to learn is that a lot of people don't really have like resumes that are kind of like ready on the fly. And so like I want to kind of give you guys an opportunity to develop your resume and things like that, just so that you kind of have it. And then it's also like kind of like a good resource for you to um, kind of like take it with you long term, whatever the different jobs are that you have, you can kind of keep adding to it. And so like at the end of the class, like you'll be able to like have ownership of the document. Um, and then so there is a resource. So as Jason goes through the rest of the Google Classroom, there is a NACTIP portfolio project, which gives like guidelines about how to format your resume and things like that. And some like different tips about being professional and things like that. So next steps. So like this is going to be kind of the area where we determine what your next steps are. So let's say that you've gotten to complete the course. Perhaps you want to do a tour of a certain location, a training center. That might be one of your next steps. Or the next step might be that we're ready to help you apply for one of the apprenticeship programs. And then my action items. So like if you guys, one of the things that is a requirement for getting into the apprenticeship programs is like a GED, and you do have to have kind of some form of transportation. So I'm pretty sure they want you to have like a driver's license. Yeah. And so if there's anything that like you don't have in order already, like you can go ahead and put those in there, and then like we can kind of try to connect you with resources. So when you get a chance, go ahead and look at that. And I think there is like a turn-in function. Again, this is new, so I will need your guys' help in implementing this, but I really think it's going to be a good communication point for us. So, yeah, that's that.
All right. And then you can see moving on is here's the examples. Explore types of apprenticeship programs. This takes you to the website for NAB2 or ndbtu.org. And this is explaining everything of each one of the trade unions and the opportunities that you have. So another resource on Google Classroom that you can look to research each one of these trade opportunities. And then if we go back to the Google Classroom, you'll see underneath this is that we have the 2025-2026 class orientation recording. So this is being recorded. We'll upload this into that. So this will be another resource on there. Scrolling down, you can see that we have the goals of the Dakota Prairie Apprenticeship Program. This is just kind of reviewing everything that we've talked about. This is really to prepare you all for an apprenticeship program in the trade of your choice. And then the units that will be covered. And then here, if you get lost or everything, you need a quick video resource on how to access the Google Classroom, the Trades Futures MC3 curriculum that we'll be talking about here, how to download and upload tasks. I've just made short videos, about 2-minute, 3-minute videos that you can just click onto and walk you through the process on how to access the Google Classroom, Trades Futures, task uploads, and those. And if you need help, you can click on that and that'll give you our contact information real quick. So, are there any questions on how to navigate the Google Classroom or the resources that are on there?
I got a question about the apprenticeship trade, not so much the navigation.
Okay.
What about if we wanted to relocate?
So great question. On an apprenticeship program, we cover actually Canada and the United States. So there are apprenticeship programs, there are unions all over this country. Whatever trade you go into, if say you like talked about being in the electricians union and you wanted to relocate to Nebraska or California, Arizona, wherever you may want to be, that apprenticeship program, it transfers with you, that education goes with you, provided you can find an opportunity in that part of the country to continue on with your apprenticeship program. So if by year 3, let's say you're into the electrician's apprenticeship program, Trey, and you want to relocate to another state, The electricians union will help you in that respect and how you move to a new area and then move into that apprenticeship program. But provided that those opportunities exist in that state. But yes, apprenticeship programs are transferable. Yes, Lanu.
I just want to know simultaneously I can do one trade or two trade.
No, you do one trade at a time. Yeah,
Okay.
so you have to. It's a great question to lead into. As you guys are looking at your apprenticeship programs, you want to focus in on one trade and make that commitment. So, say
For
you want to
example,
become.
sir, like plumbing and pipe fitting, these both go together, right?
Yes, yeah, they're both the same, and you're going
Mm,
to look to make about a full. Well, that's actually about a 5-year apprenticeship program.
mm,
So the key piece on an apprenticeship program, they are fully funded. You don't have to pay any college or any loans for any of that, but it
mm.
is going to take a 5-year commitment to go through that apprenticeship program. So that's the whole piece on all of this is that you want to be thoughtful in about what trade you want to pursue a career in. Because if after you say, I want to be an electrician, and 2 years in, I don't want to be an electrician anymore, I want to become a plumber. It's
Oh,
it's no different than changing your degree pathway in a 4-year college. You are going to have to start over.
oh,
So that's the key piece on this is that you want to, as we go through this apprenticeship program, as you fill out those forms and you're being thoughtful in these next 12 weeks, not saying that you're going to have to set everything at the end of 12 weeks, but be thoughtful about what trade do you really want to pursue as a career pathway. Going into a long term, 10 years, 15 years, is that the trade you want to pursue? Because if you go into an apprenticeship program and you absolutely hate it, you don't want to do it, you are going to have to start over. Or if you say, you know what, the construction industry isn't for me, that's okay. But we want to prepare you here now to answer those questions so you don't put 3 years of your life, your time into something and you just don't want to do it. So,
okay, got it.
When you say start over, you mean like start over the whole apprenticeship program or from school period?
you will have to start if you make that change in a trade. So, and because each trade is different, you know what an iron worker is going to do instead of an electrician is two different career pathways. So
Yeah.
you can think of it as like you want to be a teacher and then you go into being a doctor. You want to CDL into a carpenter. It's two different career pathways. So yeah, you are going to have to start that education over. So I enjoyed bricklaying. I really found a lot of pleasure doing it, and that's why I went through the apprenticeship program for 4 years. You get paid to all of one of these things, but understanding that if you leave the apprenticeship program, you miss that opportunity. You know, there is no reimbursement to it. It'd be no different than if you dropped out of college. You know, the
Right.
key piece. So, yep. Other questions? All right. Well, now let's go. We'll go into the MC3 curriculum, the website there, and then we'll cover the nuts and bolts of that, and then we'll get into Iman will finish us up here, wrap us up. So this is the other website that you're going to want to familiarize yourself with. It's called Trace Futures. It's the MC3 learning system. And this is the website that you'll actually go on and do all the classwork. You'll do all the assignments. You'll watch all the videos from here. You'll do some short answers, but you'll fill out all this information. And we have a short video on here walking you through this if you forget everything here today. We will be sending out everybody's users and passwords to access this system. I actually literally got an email just as I've been speaking, has everybody's updated users and passwords. So we'll be sending that out to you this weekend.
I've actually started already.
Yep, yeah, Trey. If you've already started, Trey, perfect. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And how is it using the site?
I mean, it's easy to navigate, and it's just the whole thing that kind of caught me off guard is it timed out and I had to start some of my assignments over again. So I
Yep.
watched a little video Iman told me to watch and I figured out that I need to save it because it tends to time out from time to time.
Exactly. Yep. So if you want to scroll back up, Iman, okay, when you access this page, you want to be on the MC3 units. That's what all the units are here. That's what you're looking at. So if you pull up onto the website the first time and you're like, I'm not seeing anything looks familiar, you want to be on the MC3 units, this middle tab here. And then Iman, yep, she's clicking on it here. And this is what it'll look like. For us doing the online curriculum, the full online curriculum, you're going to want to scroll down. See the view more, click on that because there's a couple more units on here. Allow that to download. And scroll all the way to the bottom to seeing the MC3 full online students. You'll click on this tab. So you don't need to do any of the other tabs. All the other stuff is all related to if we were doing in-person instruction, but because we're doing this online, that's the one you're going to want to click on. So Iman's already probably been doing some of this. So that what the beauty, and Trey talked about it. When you do some work in the system, you see this little red X in the corner? This is your lifesaver. Make sure you click the little red X before exiting out of any unit on the system. That makes sure that you will save your progress. If you just close your web browser, all your hard work has just been lost. So, yeah, Trey, you must have had this happen to you.
Yeah, I had to do like 50 assignments over again, but I took notes.
Okay, perfect. So always use click the red X to save your progress whenever you're doing it. So why don't you click exit, Iman? So if you've never accessed this unit ever, or this is your first time on, after you click that MC3 full online curriculum, give it a moment to upload or download, excuse me. This is the unit, this is the page that you're going to be looking at. So MC3 full online students. And you can see everything over here on the right. You have the modules and the resources. You'll see you have Unit 1, Construction Trades Orientation, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. I will point out for Unit 4, scroll up a little bit more, Iman, please. Okay. Unit 4, 4-hour basic blueprint reading principles. We're only doing the 4-hour. You don't need to do the 8-hour. Okay. We actually had a student do the 4-hour and the 8-hour. More power to you if you want to, but you only need to do the 4-hour basic blueprint reading principles. To launch a unit, you'll go over to that blue circle with the white triangle pointing to the right, and that'll click up as launch. You launch that, and it'll go into these, with the Unit 2 here, tools and materials. And yep, it'll play. It has audio. When you're ready to go into the next unit, you just click the next. This will talk about learning objectives. Okay, and then why study this topic? And special instructions. Okay? You can't just fast forward through each one of these units. You have to read or watch the videos.
Yeah, to use the restroom.
What was the question, Kim?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, okay. All right. So as you can tell, Iman clicked the little red X, that saves your progress. So yep, unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way through 9. If you go onto the resources tab up here next to modules, these are just online student toolkits that you guys can download that'll help you in the performance of each one of those units. So yep. So, and they're usually a little short, maybe a couple pages. If you want to print them off or save them to your computer, they help you in that respect. So if you're not online, but you wanted to print this off and just kind of a quick review, it helps. So
when will we be able to because I see a lot of the MC3 is online and when will we be able to start having like hands-on?
So that'll happen later on. A lot of the hands-on is just doing either potential job site tours if we have one that's near you, Trey, or at least meeting with the contractors or the union representatives, and just getting a feel for everything. After you complete the unit, the prize to all of you is we're going to get you a pair of Red Wing boots for you to go into the construction industry, and then from there, getting you connected up with the trade of your choice. But for the program is obviously being offered all over the state. So for some of you who might be in Fargo, we might view a couple training centers in the Fargo area and maybe a couple job sites. And we want to be accommodating. So yeah, for like Lanu was talking earlier, no, you do not have to go to Bismarck. No, you don't have to go all the way to Minot, or if you're in Newtown, you don't have to come all the way to Fargo. We have jobs all over the state. We are going to come to you. But the key piece is we want to bring you to a job, to a trade that you want to explore that opportunity. So maybe we'll take you to the training center, maybe the Boilermakers Training Center, and see what they're doing, getting a feel for that trade and what those hours of work are, how that industry operates. Yep. But a lot of this that'll go towards the end of the program.
So right now we just take care of the assignments that you give us
Yep,
weekly?
yep, Kim. So if you look at that syllabus back in the Google Classroom, after you do your intake assessment, we'll get all your users and passwords to each one of you, and
Okay.
then you can follow that classroom schedule.
Okay.
Yep. Great question. Any questions on any of this? And again, we've got short. Go ahead. We have short videos on the Google Classroom. So if you go, hey, or you want to reach out to Iman or myself, hey, I need some help here. Those short videos are also a quick resource to go, hey, this is how I navigate it. So, but like Trey was already saying, it's fairly easy to navigate. Biggest thing is what we found is just click the little red X. If you do lose some of your information and you go, hey, my computer froze up, my internet went down, give us a call, send us an email, and a lot of times we've been able to recover students' work going through Trades Futures. So, yeah. If you provided, you click the little red X. So periodically throughout the unit, it'd be like saving your progress. If you're writing a Word document or something like that, if you've been online for, let's say, an hour or more, just go click the little red X, exit out of the unit, give yourself a break, go back in.
All
Any
right.
questions?
So touching back on earlier, I kind of forgot. So touching back on earlier as far as our schedule for availability for the classes, because I work overnight shift.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what would I be able to like kind of touch over in the afternoon or say nighttime?
Great
'Cause
question.
for most of the morning I'll be asleep.
Yeah, no, that's why we want you to fill out that intake assessment and then the other living document, and that way we review it and we can give the best education to all of you. So we don't want to say, hey, we're meeting every Friday at 1:00. Well, not everybody can do that, but maybe 4 or 5 students we can meet with at that time frame. And then Trey, you know what? We got to meet with you in an evening, or you just talk to Iman. And really what Iman talked about too is those weekly check-ins. It's just say, hey, how are you guys doing? Are you running any hiccups, any problems? And how do we help you? How do we be a resource to all of you? As you navigate the system, you'll find out it's very user friendly. A lot of the answers, as you type them in, they get recorded, all of that. But the big thing is just if you're having some issues, just don't stop talking to us. We monitor the progress. I can see where everybody's at on their assessments, how much progress they're making in the system. If you haven't gone onto the system, and you haven't done that for a couple weeks, we're going to try and reach out to you. But if at some point you say this wasn't the right fit for me and you stop talking to us, we'll just drop you from the program. So but we want to make this easy for you guys.
I was just gonna add just a couple of tips too, just to save often. And also, like, if you get stuck on something, don't spin your wheels on it. You can jump to like a different module or skip it for now and come back to it. Otherwise, you might get kind of frustrated, you know? So like saving often and kind of like skipping past things that you know are gonna cause you issues. That way you can kind of keep making progress.